Hey folks, how y'all doing? Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the man cave. Can you believe it? Another plane, believe it or not. Big shout out to Hobby Zone for sending me out this 80mm Dassault Rafale for review. We're going to get her unboxed and see how she comes packaged. I know there's about 1,000 unboxing videos on this plane, and so we're going to add one more. Okay. All right, let's get into this bad boy. All right, what you can expect to see after you spend your $439 for this plane, I believe, and yeah, I think that's what it was, $439. Lots of times these boxes are so packed in so tight, to get the styrofoam coffin out, it's better to open one end and then just slide the other end. That relieves that vacuum pressure. It just helps. Of course, you're doubling the size now. Oh man. The man cave is getting smaller and smaller. The more planes I keep adding to my fleet. And, well, I also sell a lot of planes too, so if you're ever wondering how he keeps all these planes, I usually keep about 100 in stock at any given time, 100 or more. And then at my club, I'll put 3 or 4 up for sale. I got 3 or 4 up for sale right now. And I'll buy a plane, fly the mess out of it, really enjoy it, and then it's time to move on to something else. And so, you know, because I have so many planes, I mean, I'm not trying to brag, but I've got so many planes, each of my planes get 4 or 5 flights on them, you know, and then I'm ready to move on to something else. And that's just my own illness that I don't want to be cured. And so basically then I'll put them up for sale. So, you know, and I'll sell them for probably like half of what I paid for them, and so they're getting almost a brand new plane for, you know, half off. So I would, you know, sell them to some of my viewers, but the problem with shipping these things, and I don't keep the boxes, that's the other problem. A lot of my viewers will say, hey, could you sell me one of your planes? I'm like, sure, but how am I going to give it to you? You know? Now, just like the, okay, you got all the foreign languages for me on both sides, but then on the back is all our specs. The motor is a 3280 by 2100 kV Platinum Edition in-runner. That's important, in-runner, because they're a lot more efficient. You get more flight time out of them, and they're very powerful. In-runner motor with a high-performance 100 amp ESC, delta wing design with full flying canards. They're functional. They're into a mixing board. Metal shock-absorbing struts, as you would expect. Navigation lights. Central function controller. That's that control board I was talking about. And, of course, it's highly detailed and a very vibrant, this like tiger-type claw stripes. Yellow, and it's going to be very visible. Make really great for orientation, even without the lights. I'll be doing flights, you know, with or without ordnance and that sort of thing. Don't know yet how I feel about the Crow type braking that's automatic in the programming of that control board. I think I'm just going to fly her and land her like a F-16 and bring her into high alpha. I don't know if I want to use that control or that flapping mix they put in there. And the mainly is because you lose a lot of your aileron control, and that would just freak me out. Y'all know how I am about control, being a control freak. And look at this. These little pieces of foam that are just feathery soft, but they have it between parts and pieces, and that just adds to the, you know, the protection. Very strong carbon fiber wing rod. Brian Phillips, as you already know, manual, flat, not bent. the refueling tube, some bombs, and this is the underside. Got one of the main wing sections. You know, oh, and this is actually obviously it's painted foam. But it's got the decal on top of that. Little mistake there in a foam, no big deal. But you can barely see the gator cells of the foam. And not just in a few areas, but really not. Here, looky here. Quick connects, so you don't have to worry about plugging your servos. You just plug the wing in, you're good to go. And hard plastic placement for the screws, wing screws. The other wing. Them lights in there. Oh, a nice thing, they can be seen on top and bottom. Leading edge lights there. Or wing root. Had one of my viewers correct me. They said, no, that's the wing root. The leading edge is along the front. Yeah, I know. I just, sometimes I get lost in my terminology. I wonder if that needs to go. Okay, good. All right, this is a two-part coffin, and first layer and bottom layer. All right. Oh boy, look at that. Look at that. Got your nose cone, and in your nose cone is all the screws you're going to need. It looks like either a 1.5 or a 2 millimeter hex drive. We'll get it done, and you'll need a small Allen wrench for some grub screws, it looks like. Magnetic nose cone. Your vertical stabilizer with your ball link already hooked up for you. The canards. Hard plastic placements where you screw in those grubs. Those grub screws probably what's going to have to be used. Man, look at and again, these little pieces of feathery foam in between parts, in between the light foam, just to, it'd be easy to get the fuselage out right now. More missiles. Get this fuselage out, maybe. Set that off to the side for just a moment. Let me get these. Man, this sucker's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Love that yellow. That shows up. It's going to show up so well. Definitely got a plethora of tanks. All the decals are already on. You don't have to apply any decals at all. So make sure I'm not missing anything. Don't appear to be. Very intelligent how they pack this. Very well done. Very, very well done. All right, let me always just take the time, take the extra few moments to pack your box back up correctly. And because like I say, keep all your little bags and bits and pieces, because you never know. There may be a real problem with the model and you have to send it back. And they're not going to take it back unless you've got the box and everything that came with it. And I've learned that the hard way. Bitterly, I have learned that lesson. Now, after, excuse me while I turn away from you. Now, after you have flown the model, well, you bought it. Once you get it out and put it together, it's pretty much yours at that point. Some manufacturers, as long as you haven't flown it, will take it back. But for the most part, once you get the parts out and you see that there's no problem, you start putting it together, well, that's yours now. Man, back to this plane. Look at the detail. Just look at the detail on this. Put down there that great big 80mm, I think it's a 12-bladed fan. I think it's 12-bladed. Sucker is beautiful. These are sequence doors. Absolutely beautiful model. Beautiful model. Man, she's too pretty to fly. Looks like it's going to be a fairly simple build. EC5 connector. Plenty of room for your, oh man, this hard plastic behind the mechanism for the canards there. Nice, very good quality straps. You got Velcro already there. All your leads, you're not going to have to plug anything into the control board. You've got throttle, flap, rudder, gear, elevator, and aileron. Okay? So hold on. Where's the S bus at? There should be an S bus. Let's see. Oh, I don't know. We'll find out during the build and look at the instructions, but there should be something used to connect you to that reflex system. But I don't know. We shall look in the build video. All right, well that's your parts. You've got your spar, your armament, your canards, little bag of goodies, your magnetic nose cone. It's on there just one way. Nice hard plastic. Now I have found out even when these planes have the hard nose cone, and they said, well, you can then store the plane on its nose in the corner. Well, that's fine and dandy, but you've got all the weight of that plane pressing on that plastic nose cone that's glued onto foam. Well, that foam will start to kind of compress a little bit, and you'll start to notice a little bit of wrinkling. So the best alternative to store jets, honestly, are flat. Is flat. The other thing I thought about doing, and I haven't gotten around to doing it, but you've got, is to take two pieces of PVC. You know, like this has a dual exhaust, right? Okay. Take two, and that's all very, very thick foam, and that 80mm is way up in there. You know, take about, two pieces of PVC, put the smaller diameter pool noodle on it, and make like a fork, two-pronged fork with a PVC that'll just shove right up in there, but not up against the fan. And then put that on a piece of PVC or something that's secure and at an angle, and you can just put that and just keep that plane like that on that PVC. As long as it's good and secure, as long as that PVC will hold the weight, it'd be a great way to get the plane up and out of the way. The other thing too, when you're storing planes like this night, it's good to store them from the ceiling. Put string around it, but put the thick PVC pool noodle around the string. That way it doesn't dig into the foam, and that wide PVC will just, it looks kind of dumb, but it gets the plane up and out of the way, and it protects it. So anyways, that's just my take on things. Anyway, so you got all the parts. Give me a little bit. I'm going to sit and study the manual, go over it, and then we'll come back and get you a build video. So should be a very simple build. I want to find out about the reflex on this one. I know they got a lot of stuff that's pre-programmed, and you take some of the, kind of makes it idiot-proof, but when things become idiot-proof, it also means you don't have the control that you want. So you kind of have to find that balance. So, well, there you go, folks. That's the unboxing of the FMS Dassault Rafale 80mm fan. Big shout out to Hobby Zone for sending this out to me. I'm just blown away by how this thing looks. I cannot wait to fly it. Y'all stay tuned to the channel. We'll get a build video up, and then we'll get a maiden, and I might even do a separate radio setup on this, and in Fat Guy style, which means I just film it as it comes to me, and then I end up, oh, I left this out. I really should write a script out for these things, I know. Anyways, y'all get the gist of it. Y'all have a good, and don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless y'all, and don't forget, faith, family, and friends, and then jets. Bye. Have to turn the video off now.
Right here.